Unbiased Jim here doing a follow-up review on this GSEICE slushy machine I purchased 3 or 4 weeks ago. This machine has been terrific. I mean, we have really enjoyed using this machine. We've probably made, I would say, 25 or 30 different slushy concoctions in this thing. Anywhere from milkshakes, malts to frozen cappuccino, mocha lattes, and just a regular old-fashioned slush. We were taking even the Kool-Aid packets that are 30, 40 cents, adding some sugar to it, mixing it up, and making a terrific flavored, cherry or fruit punch slush. One of my favorites has been the Wendy's Frosty recipe that we found that I don't know whether it's authentic or not, but it tastes just like the Wendy's Frosty. It's half a gallon of chocolate milk with a regular container of Cool Whip, the whole container, and a whole can of condensed milk. Mix it up in a pitcher, pour it in here. 12 to 15 minutes later, it was thick coming out. It was thick, almost like a soft serve ice cream thick. You could actually build it up, turn it upside down, and it wouldn't fall out. And it tasted amazing. And I made a keto-friendly mocha latte that was really good, and that was using a synthetic or artificial sweetener, which is the only sweetener that I've known that someone has said that will only work in this machine is the Splenda monk fruit. I don't even know exactly what a monk fruit is, but for some reason it will work in this machine and give you the correct sugar level that you need. Which that's a whole nother story right there. They should supply with these machines a Brix meter, B-R-I-X. I think it's a European term, but it's nothing different than it's a sugar meter. It tells you how much sugar is in your solution. And I've got one right here. I bought a digital one. They do make little optical ones, but it wasn't but $10 more, and I got a digital one. You'll turn this thing on and open this little door here, and you'll take like a couple of drops out of the mix, put a few drops in there, hit start, and 2 or 3 seconds later, it'll tell you what your sugar level is. It needs to be, or it has to be, at least 13%. If it's lower than 13%, it will tend to freeze up on this evaporator, and the auger will start trying to bind up like it's hung on it. You'll hear it catching, and that's not good for the motor. It's not good for the auger, and it could actually freeze enough to where it will actually freeze the machine up and either damage the machine. So it needs to be at least 13%, so that way it doesn't do that. But if it's higher than 28 or 29%, you may have trouble getting it to freeze at all, because sugar will turn it into kind of an antifreeze type solution, so to speak. And the only problem I've had to where I failed, and it was my fault, it wasn't the machine's fault. I was trying to make a margarita in here, and I put the margarita mix concentrate in there. I added the alcohol. Didn't understand why it wasn't freezing. Well, I was supposed to add water. I think it was a 2-to-1 ratio of water with that margarita mix, and I thought that was you didn't have to add the water to it. I didn't read the directions, and sure enough, it froze so hard on the outside. It was like a sheet of ice on the outside of this thing, but it was liquid inside, and it was at 21 degrees, and it was not freezing the mix. So it was late in the day on like a Sunday evening, and I just ended up, instead of just adding water to it, I just ended up dumping it, pulling the whole thing out. So I may try it again this next weekend. Other than that, the machine has performed flawless. And like I said in the first review, one of my deciding factors on purchasing this machine is whether or not I could get parts for it or not. There's a lot of reviews out there for other machines, Bever brands and other brands, that people have bought them and the seal has failed. This back, it's got a big seal, a big donut seal in the back, and they're very proprietary. I have not found a seal anything like this thing on the back on the web anywhere, and I've looked for days. And one of my decisions on buying this was the fact that I can get parts for it. Other people have bought other brands and seal break in the back, start leaking. They can't find a part for it. It's sitting in the corner of their room collecting dust for an $800 or $1,000 machine. I wanted to know if I was spending $700, $800 for a machine that I get parts for it. This one was, I guess after tax and all, like $769 from Amazon. But beforehand, I contacted the company. They said, yes, we have parts for it. They're coming straight from China, and the same place where they were walking me through changing these settings, same people providing the parts. And after when I had the machine in, they in an email they said, take a picture of the parts, put a number of how many you want of each one. and I told them I was more than willing to pay for them, give me a price list. They never gave me a price list. So I took a picture of the parts. I told them I wanted 2 augers, 20 of these O-rings, I think 10 of those bushings for the augers, and then 6 of the big gaskets in the back. And they just said, well, we're going to send them to you for free. We're not going to charge you for them. Which these augers for some of these other brands are kind of expensive. They're like 30 or 40 bucks a piece. So anyway, they said they noticed that I was doing a review of it. And I said, I am doing a complete unbiased review. I'm, listing pros and cons and my experiences with it. So they said, we're going to go ahead and just send them to you for free. So I'm not compensated for this review. I'm still giving an honest review. I always will. But I've got the receipt of this thing. I can show you where I've spent $768 or whatever for this thing. And I have noticed a few things on here that I would have changed. I didn't care for the way that this latches on. It does fine, and it may be fine, but I just think that there could have been a better way to do that. And I haven't had any problem with it. This, like I said in the first review, could be a little deeper. It's only an inch deep, this catch basin down here. And one day when we were running slushies all day long, it did get pretty full. It never got to the point of running over, but I could see if you had a bunch of people like at a party or something and everybody's getting a drink, I could see you might having to take this off during the day and dumping it and putting it back on. There's room underneath here for this thing to be twice as deep. It could be 2 inches deep, and there's no reason why it can't. It's got that much space. So if I were them, I would change the depth on that, make that deeper to accommodate more of the spillage from it. Other than that, there's really nothing that I would change on it. It's a nice looking machine. I've had a lot of people compliment me on the machine, the way that it looks. I did suggest to the company that they should make a maintenance kit for this thing and sell like an auger, some of the O-rings, and a gasket for like one side, and sell it for whatever, 30, 40 bucks. I'm sure that might help people make a decision on whether they want to purchase it or not if they know that they can get parts for it. I was real hesitant to buy. I looked for weeks online trying to make a decision on whether or not I wanted to take a chance on buying one of these machines, knowing that I may not be able to get parts for it. But once they told me that they could, I trusted them, and I decided to go ahead and buy it. Now, I haven't gotten the parts yet. It's supposed to be here Tuesday, the 22nd of October, so it's supposed to be at my office. So, and when they come in, I will do a short video adding to this one showing that, hey, the parts came in, they kept their word, because I want people to know that if they buy this thing, that they can get parts for it. I'm not compensated for this in any way. I just want people to know the truth. I spent weeks looking at reviews, and there's so many of them, I just didn't feel like that I could trust them. I could take them with a grain of salt. A lot of them are paid reviews. They're compensated. They're given the machine for their review, and that defeats the whole point of the review. If you're not going to be completely honest, I was looking for a guitar one day, and the same guitar, I looked across the board to say 8 and 10 different reviews. After I watched all those, I was still on the fence on whether or not I was going to buy that guitar now, because half of them said it was a terrible guitar, half of them said it was a terrific guitar. Somebody's lying. It can't be both. So I decided to start up my YouTube channel just called Unbiased Jim. So as I purchase things, I'm going to put a review out and just kind of tell people my experience. This video has been videoed with a DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro camera. I'm not going to do a review on that because there are tons of reviews on this camera right now, so I'm not going to do a review on that. But one of the other things that I purchased that I feel like there's not many reviews out there for, I'm going to do a review on it, and I'm going to give it my honest opinion. I don't care if it pisses the manufacturer off or not. I really don't care. I'm not compensated for it. So I just want people to have an honest feel that they're getting an honest, review from somebody, and that's the only things that I've seen on this machine that a con would be this part down here. I can see it running over, and these are only about, I think they're 96 ounces. So for me and my girlfriend here, this is a perfect size for us and maybe a couple of other people. It's perfect. But if you had a party, you're either going to want to make both the same flavor, so you've got plenty to go around, or once you fill this one up, make another batch, put it in your refrigerator, and as this side goes down, just keep adding to it throughout the evening. It freezes so fast anyway. When you add to it, it's not going to take it 5 minutes to be back to the capacity to start dispensing more again. So that's what I would do. Some of the other machines that made like 2 gallons on each side or more, the minimum that you had to make was a lot more too. which would have been too much just for me and her in the household here. So this size here works perfect for us. And the fact of having two, that way she can have what she wants and I can have what I want and sip on it. We're not forced to drink the other, if we don't want it. So anyway, that's where we're at with the thing. I'm extremely satisfied with it, and as long as I get my parts in next week, I would buy another one in a heartbeat. So anyway, I hope that this review will help somebody make a decision on purchasing, at least this machine anyway. If you have any comments or anything, just leave a comment down below. If you have a question, I'll try to answer it the best I can. I try to cover as much as I can on here. If I can't, then maybe I can research it and maybe shoot an email to the company and get the answer for you. So far they've been honest about it. So anyway, I hope this can help y'all, and have a good day.